So I'm gonna make Marco Pierre White's favorite dish, and I'm slightly frightened.
Come here. What the is this shit?
Hello everyone, welcome back to my home. And what is yours for this next little bit? And we're still cooking recipes out of this one here, Marco Pierre White's White Heat Cookbook. And I started strong out of this book with the salmon recipe, and then I made the worst plate of food that I've ever made with the tagliatelle of oysters with caviar. It was so bad I didn't get to the caviar part. In fact, it's still in the fridge, the caviar, saving it, not for today. We got another challenge. Behold, Marco Pierre White's braised pig's foot, pig trotters. And he's known for this one, and I've been getting a lot of requests from you guys, some of you at least, who want to see me make this thing. It is a compliment to this guy here, Pierre Kaufman, who is a French chef who Marco worked with prior to having his own restaurant, who taught Marco how to make this plate of food. He says this thing looks like a painting, and you know what, it kind of does. It's my favorite dish. Not me, I haven't had it yet, but him. It's simple and earthy, but it's also elegant and intelligent. You can't take it any further. It's a complete meal. It's not a recipe for talking about. It's a meal to be eaten. Now, I'm only comfortable making something like this because of the videos that have come before it, such as like beef tongue. Whoa! Wow, and the sweetbreads. Which at the time were things that were far outside of my comfort zone until I tried them, and well, I tried them. Now, I always use these cookbook photos as a visual guide. Of course, this is what I'm aiming to make. And a lot of people in the comments say I'm never gonna be able to do that because this is the magic of a photographer and a food stylist, and this may not have been edible on the day when this photo was taken. I hear you, but also never say never. I'm very stubborn. I'm still gonna try to match this photo. Let's get to work. Okay, well, this is one of those recipes where you just kind of have to dive right in. We start off with the hardest part. And here's the pig's feet. I wasn't lying. And for the uninitiated, that might be a lot to look at, but we just kind of have to get used to it for this video. If this isn't your type of thing, you can skip to this time right here, and it's gonna get you the hell out of here. You might want to do that if this isn't your type of thing. It's gonna be less graphic over here. They've been soaking in cold water overnight. Yes, it's a lot to look at. One is longer than the other one because this is how I bought them. And this is me practicing, making sure that I could do what I needed to do. Pat dry, singe off any remaining hairs on these feet. And I got a lighter. But I actually can't use a lighter properly anymore with my dominant hand because of my thumb injury from earlier this year. This blade right here, I sliced my thumb like a carrot. So what I'm gonna do instead is singe off the hairs of these pig trotters with my left hand instead. Scrape off the singed stubble and any stray hairs with a knife. Slitting the underside of the skin lengthwise from the ankle down. So cut the main tendon and then start to work off the skin by cutting around it with a sharp knife close to the bone. All those Julia Child recipes of deboning turkey and chicken kind of just prepares you for this moment. Remember that the foot skin is effectively going to form a sausage skin, so be careful not to tear it. I got a little paper towel here just to help me grip this thing, and then, yeah, I'm starting to make headway, footway. Okay, when can I start doing this? Cutting through the knuckles at the first set of toes. I'm really starting to question exactly what the hell it is I'm even doing at this point. It's just taking so... Perfect. Continue to pull the skin off to the last toe joint. Am I supposed to go any further than that? I may have to, but why don't we do this first, then we'll reevaluate. But I don't need the bone. Maybe it's easier the second time. had to put these gloves on just because I was just tired of... I'm also starting to get a bit nauseous. I've been staring at the two of these for the last like almost an hour. It just keeps going on, and you're just only making like small progress. Meanwhile, I was watching a video of this chef, Pierre Kaufman, do it, and he did it in a minute. So it's just like, I'm kind of envious of that because I'm just stuck in this pigfoot hell right now. If I continue to work on this, I am going to lose my mind. Ah. Okay. I know it looked like a gas. Not as fun as it looks. All right, let me just get these bone spurs out of here and we can continue. This pan today, how about a tablespoon olive oil? There's a moderate heat. So I was supposed to cube my vegetables, but I figure a rough dice ought to do it because all we're doing is making like, well, this is the braising liquid for pig's feet. So I have 1 whole onion, 2 carrots, and celery. And then I gotta make room for the feet. Skin side down, there goes the first foot. Second foot, snug as a bug. In goes a cup of dry white wine, and I gotta reduce this down by half. These pig's feet are gonna be treated with the finest stock I have, veal. Bougie ass braising liquid I'm gonna be making for these pig's feet, that's for sure. 3 cups worth, look at how lovely that thick veal stock. That is nice. Now, I paid a pretty penny for that veal stock, so I just want to admire it for a second. All I'm looking at right now are the pig's feet. So, all right, sprig of thyme, and everybody's favorite, bay leaves. He says I only need half of one. Whoa. 2. I'm not driving. And let's season with some salt and white pepper from my brand spanking new white pepper grinder. I only picked this up because Marco keeps asking for white pepper and I needed a white pepper grinder. Bringing this up to a boil and watching as that pig skin starts to curl up a little bit. No, you stay under. I'm gonna cover, and then it goes into a 425 degree F oven for 3 hours. That's gonna give me ample time to do a whole bunch of other things. Obviously, I'm gonna be keeping an eye on it though. Every once in a while, I'm gonna shake the pan to make sure that the skin isn't sticking to the surface. Quick time out to thank this episode's sponsor, Maiden. Now, if you don't know Maiden, their cookware is used heavily in my videos and outside of my videos also. Regardless of being sponsored by them, I love their products. Professional quality for the home cook and partnering with multi-generational factories and artisans to help bring you a curated collection of materials and shapes you need in the kitchen. And they just put the care and the passion into what they're doing, like the carbon steel collection. And yeah, it can be a lot to remember all these different types of pans. It's taken me a little bit of time to figure it all out because there's stainless steel, non-stick, cast iron, but with the carbon steel pan, the more I use it, it actually develops a natural non-stick surface. And I think of it more as a hybrid between the stainless steel and the cast iron. I personally just love the look of the pan too. You know, it's got battle scars, it's got character. You know, it heats quickly, it has incredible heat control, and is pretty light to maneuver on the stove. It can go in the oven or you can just stick it into a fire up to 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. But if you get it that hot, you're gonna have to look at it through these special little glasses right here. Left over from the eclipse. That's hot. If you'd like your own carbon steel pan or any of their other cookware, you can use the link in my description to save on your order. Thank you, Maiden, for sponsoring the video. So I gotta make this thing called chicken mousse before I do anything because I need that ingredient in order to make the filling. So it's over here, and he says it makes about 1 pound worth of chicken mousse if I follow the recipe. However, I only need 1.25 cups of it over here, so 1 pound worth will translate to 1.25 cups. I hope. I don't know. I'll find out. Well, I'm gonna need to start this off with beaming in the WizKid. Thank you very much. Skinless 7-ounce chicken breast here. I removed the sinew and just kind of roughly chopped it up. That goes into my food processor. Am I supposed to cook this? I don't know. I'm having a bit of a brain fart. Process the chicken flesh. Flesh sounds uncooked and raw. I don't think you're supposed to cook it. No, there's no way. It's just a brain fart, just a quick brain fart, that's all. In goes just a pinch of ground mace. And then I need a tablespoon of tarragon. No, chopped tarragon. I don't know how chopped this tarragon actually has to be. You know what? Just put it in the food processor. 1 minute. So in this mix, I need, Jesus. Something feels funny about this egg. I haven't opened an egg where there's like a surprise on the inside. All right, it's all good. That was just a normal egg. Marco got in my head there. In goes that egg. 2 teaspoons of salt and hit it. Pulse to oblivion, that looks pretty good. Before I do anything, I gotta chill this for 10 minutes. 10 to 15. There's no room in this fridge. So you gotta make room. So the reason I had to chill this mix is so that it doesn't separate from the cream. You know? So I have a cup of heavy cream here. You know what? Keep it running. It's used for stuffings and fillings and stuff like that. Exactly what we're doing. Marco's getting cheeky there and saying, have a taste. I'm good. We're not done yet. I'm gonna need a bowl and a sieve. Thank you. And we have the fun task of now having to pass. So we have the fun task of passing this through the sieve. I don't know how that's gonna go or how long that's gonna take, but you might as well just get started now. As much as I do think that's gonna go through the sieve, we're probably gonna lose some of that tarragon. No, it goes through too, okay. And I'm doing this to ensure a velvety texture. Get comfortable, this is gonna take a while. This looks exactly the same as what has already passed through the sieve. The only difference is I'm losing minutes of my life doing this. For what? For a velvety texture. This already looks velvety. It looks beautiful. I'm not gonna be able to tell. No way, no how. Here's a very interesting ingredient. Something that I have cooked with before, so I'm not as alarmed as I used to be. This, my friends, is called sweetbreads. It is an internal organ of veal, the thymus gland, I believe. I only know this because I've cooked this before with Julia Child. So, not with her recipe. I wish. It doesn't look like much, but it's a fixer-upper. It used to freak me out, but I'm over that. This is what I have noticed following along to Marco's recipes here. He leaves a lot out. There's a lot of stuff that I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about? So remove the sinew and the membranes from the sweetbreads. That's all he says about that. There's a step that I thought was necessary that isn't mentioned in this book. It's to soak the sweetbreads in cold water for like 3 hours, and that's gonna help rinse off the blood. Like that's still there, but let me just get the exact reasoning. Julia Child told me. I'm gonna go get the old handbook. Where Marco just assumes you know what sweetbreads are and that you've cooked with them before, Julia is like, no, I got you. I appreciate that. She says soaking sweetbreads for several hours in cold water softens the filament, which covers them so that it may be removed to dissolve the bloody patches and to whiten them. All right, bloody filaments, we got it. JC, coming in clutch. So I gotta remove that membrane. Yeah, that comes right off. Oh yeah. The whole thing is freaking sinew and filament. It's hard to know exactly what you're removing. And I've cooked with it once, but I'm by no means any expert in this topic. I've decided that any funky looking bits on the sweetbreads I will remove, like the sinewy part here. But if you start removing too much of the membrane, the whole damn thing falls apart. And that's okay in my circumstance because I'm going to be cubing this all up. The membranes and the sinew, Marco wants me to hold on to that because it's going to go into our sauce. And then we got to cut these sweetbreads into cubes. I have a whole whack of morel mushrooms. I know a guy. Actually, no, I don't. I had to go looking for them, and it took me a little bit of time and money. I don't know why I put them on the cutting board, because I need a bowl. Thank you. Whoa. Put these into a bowl, and I need to soak them for 10 minutes. How do you like me now, mushroom non-washers? 10 minutes to soak, and then you drain, rinse, repeat. High heat, pan. I tried to drain the sweetbreads as much as possible, but they are still pretty wet. So this is 1 pound, 6 ounces of sweetbreads, and I'm frying this up until it's golden brown and has a crunchy texture. Those sweetbreads were completely soaked. All that water is gonna have to evaporate before these things start really cooking along. Just to speed up the whole process here, I'm gonna get rid of that water. All right, you just keep them moving, keep them moving. There is quite a smell. It's awful. It's awful, you know? Do they got like a crunchy feel to them? Yeah, they do. Half an onion diced, along with 1.5 ounces of soaked morels. Got to season with some salt. Again, Marco is asking for white pepper. Marco loves the white pepper. And then we're only cooking this for 1 minute, only. And then that's it. Cool. So I'm gonna need the colander. Thank you. And, whoa. And I need to, thank you. I need to get this into the colander to drain, to allow this to cool. So let's do other things while we wait. Braising pig's feet are done. Coming in hot. Whoa. Look at the color on those trotters, eh? That's not something you say every day. So those should be a wonderful oak brown color, he says. They certainly are. They look very fragile, so you're gonna have to be pretty careful with those, I think. I'm gonna leave those be until I'm ready for them. I don't need them just yet. Okay, so we gotta move on to our sauce next. There's quite a few ingredients for this one, and everything is just taking quite a bit of time, so I'm just gonna speed prep. Let's do it. Evidently, there's a lot going on with this sauce, so let's just go over the stove and figure this out together. What's up? So my favorite saucepan here on a medium heat. A little bit of olive oil. What the hell? Okay, turn off the heat because you think you've made a massive mistake. Chicken legs. Chicken legs. What is chicken legs to you? Are chicken legs chicken feet, or is it like the legs of chicken? The recipe said you need 2 chicken legs. So for some reason, my brain went to chicken feet. Because I was like, okay, well, we're using pig's feet, why not chicken feet, right? But it says chicken legs in the recipe, and I'm only picking up on that now. The thing is that I bought them in bulk, too, so I have a whole bunch of chicken feet. Who in a recipe would write just 2 chicken legs? Like, that's all it says in the recipe. Don't you find that kind of bizarre? So, hello everyone. I'm back from the store. So where were we? Bring that pan back up to a medium heat. There we go. 2 chicken legs. On the go here, I'm just gonna quickly dry these off into the saucepan. In addition to the chicken legs, I'm adding in the sweetbread trimmings, like all that sinew stuff. I don't know. That's what he says. So not cooking all the way through, just until it's all golden brown. Keeping in mind that I'm only making a sauce here. And I got the 2 whole chicken legs that will not end up in the finished sauce, you know what I mean? This is like Thomas Keller level over here. 4 ounces of sliced mushrooms, 4 ounces chopped shallots, half a clove of garlic that's been sliced in half. Look at that, exposing half of those cloves. In a sprig of thyme, half a bay leaf, but I'll throw in the other half free of charge. We know why. Aged sherry vinegar. Just curious what it tastes like. I've never tried it before. Oh, hell yeah. I gotta deglaze the pan with 1.5 tablespoons. All talk, man. Turn up the heat and frickin' deglaze this thing. Cognac up next. I mean, another 1.5 tablespoons of this. There's a tablespoon and a half. Pretty fancy ingredients today. And I gotta deglaze the pan again. Now I need a cup and 3/4 of Madeira wine. Hey. I gotta reduce that all down until it has this caramelized appearance. This thing is on another level right now. I think that's what he's after here. It's just like really thickened up and it's caramelized, looks caramelized. In goes 3/4 cup of chicken stock and 2.5 cup of veal stock again. And around 2/3 cup of water. And that should be enough to cover the bones and the vegetables. Yep. So he says to add in 4 dried morels. So here are 4 of the driest ones that I bought. Now those are all the morels he tells me to add for the rest of this recipe, which is weird because on this plate in this book there is way more than 4. Since I have a whole whack of them, I'm just gonna add in a bunch. I don't think that's gonna change the flavor too much, is it? And since we haven't added any salt yet, as well as Marco's favorite white pepper, he says nothing about bringing this back up to a boil, but I'm gonna do that. Turn it down to a simmer for 20 minutes. That sauce is done. It is lovely. Can I have a bowl, a sieve, and cheesecloth? Thank you. All right, so yes, we gotta strain this. The morel mushrooms are for garnish, so we wanna hold on to those. Pass this through this cheesecloth, but be careful. I'm most definitely gonna wanna keep that chicken. Hold on to that. Good meat on dem bones. That stuff out of the cheesecloth. All right, Jamie. How am I gonna do this? What is this? Yeah, I'm gonna need just a quick bowl, please. Oh, jeez. Okay, so let's pass it through the cheesecloth again. And one more time just for fun. The sauce has officially been strained. It still tastes great. So I cleaned out my saucepan. The sauce is gonna go back in, and some random lid off to the, that was over there. The lid goes on, and I'm just gonna make sure that is keeping warm. Maybe on the lowest possible setting. Things have been crossed off the list. It feels really great, although there is still a few things to do. Okay, we're gonna circle back to the filling now that it has very much cooled. And there that goes. So I'm gonna take 1 1/4 cup, is that 1 1/4? Yeah, of the chicken mousse. Just eyeball it. You don't wanna make any more things dirty. Actually, the proportions are pretty spot on. Now this should all just easily bind together. If you want to use your hands, Jamie, the option is yours, but I don't think I need to right now. I'm very curious of what this is all going to taste like. I can't even imagine. It's the sweetbreads, the chicken mousse, and the morel mushrooms all together. You're going to need some aluminum foil. I hope that's big enough. Butter up the side of the foil. Bring over the braised pig's feet. You just got to be gentle. Yeah, and there, okay. Pick out the little pieces of fat inside the skin. This, I wasn't expecting such significant shrinkage with this foot. That's a good thing I kept that one the full length because they really just shrunk up. Easy does it, easy, 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 perfect. Okay, I'm going all in with this one. It's the backup. So the goal here is to make this pig's foot like stay its original shape. Can't really stress to you how fragile the skin is. It's very sensitive and delicate, and as soon as I start doing what I'm about to do, it's gonna get pretty dodgy. Roll the foil tightly around the foot, making a sausage shape. So twist it at both ends. Here are my 2 parcels. Oh, the toe has already gone through that foil. Keeping in mind that I'm gonna have to poach these things. Alrighty then. Keeping in mind that I'm gonna have to poach these things. They're gonna be submerged in water. So now this has officially been triple foiled. You know what that resembles? One of those Christmas poppers, you know? Put the parcels in the fridge for about 15 minutes to set the foot. So we're moving on to the garnishes. We got mashed potatoes, we got pearl onions, and I don't know, something else. Oh, wild mushrooms. All right, so the top and the tail of each one of these onions, off it goes into boiled salted water. 3 minutes. All right, so drain them and rinse them in cold water. And then you could have just, oh my gosh. Oh, what are we gonna do with you? To remove the skins by squeezing them between your fingers, but yeah, that hollowed my onion out. So I'm just gonna put that back. I'm gonna melt like 2 tablespoons of butter over medium heat. Add in those onions. Some salt, Marco's favorite, white pepper. Saute for 3 minutes. Buttered parchment paper on top, I don't know, into a 425-degree oven, 5 minutes, until those onions have caramelized. Yeah, so let's make the basic mashed potato recipe. Got 2 russets right here, and I'm gonna peel them. Cutting into 1-inch cubes or close enough. I'm gonna need another potato here. Just gotta go into boiling water. Whoa, got a bit excited there, but that was my bad. 4 to 5 minutes. Let's beam in the whiz kid again. Thank you. In go the potatoes, 1 1/4 pound. I added my butter. Yeah, it's a whopping 1/2 cup worth. And I need 3 tablespoons of heavy cream. Go right back to town. Some salt, that's what they need. All right, I couldn't get those any smoother if I tried. The way the mashed potatoes look in that photo, it looks like you just pushed them all the way, so that's what I did. The thing about mashed potatoes is you gotta keep them warm until you're ready for them, so I got ideas. I was just tasting the potatoes and I was thinking, you know what it needs? White pepper. Keep a lid on that. Into a simmering pan of water until I'm ready for them. Can I just order takeout instead? I'm getting tired. Okay, reduce the sauce, pig's feet, mushrooms. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, just breathe. Hey sauce, long time no see. I need to reduce the sauce down to a coating consistency. It's just too saucy at the moment. So get the heat going on that and reduce. I'm trying to match to what Marco has on this plate as closely as possible. It's difficult because he's using some sort of wild mushroom. I'm not familiar with whatever he's using. He just says wild mushroom. So I took it upon myself to find mushrooms that are gonna fit the needs of what I have today. So I was at some sort of market and I saw these mushrooms and I was like, okay, well maybe that could work. But also I have some of these brown beach mushrooms. There's no funny business here. We just need the mushroom caps. Jamie, you always put up a stink about cleaning your mushrooms, right? This late in the day, I can't be bothered. A tablespoon of butter onto the only stovetop that is available. Let's melt the butter. And how's everything going over here, actually? You know what? I've been playing a little stovetop musical chairs, and it's fun. No. But yeah, it's getting kind of hot over there. Let's get those mushrooms in there. Over high heat, I'm gonna saute those until they start producing their own liquid. Drain them, add them back into the pan for another minute. He says to add more butter, but honestly, I don't think that's necessary. Also, my garnish morel mushrooms, I'm gonna heat them up in this pan as well, just to get them warm again. It is time. So in a large pan of boiling water, I'm gonna add my parcels here. I poached those for 12 minutes, but since they aren't completely submerged, I'm probably gonna be moving them around. The thing is that Marco says poach them in a large pan, so that's what I'm using, it's a pan. this sauce isn't thickening the way I wanted it to, so I'm just gonna start adding some of this slurry. 4 tablespoons of potato starch, 4 tablespoons of water, and just like that, a spreading consistency. I'm using potato starch over cornstarch today, because doesn't cornstarch is a bit cloudier, right? Yeah. Remove the parcels from the boiling water. Corn on the cob. Let's unwrap our corn on the cob. But when you unwrap it, you're in for a surprise. My worst fear is that the parcel flooded. Okay, I don't think it flooded. That's great news. I gotta get this onto the serving plate. Just like so. And that looks like a foot. Let's go with 8 onions on the plate. Sprinkle the wild mushrooms over the foot. Also along the side of a foot. See, that photo is making it look like they just went like this with the mushrooms, but I know that's not true. Placing a pool of the mashed potatoes alongside the pig's foot, going on this side here. Yeah, like that. The reserved morel mushrooms go on top of the potatoes. Just placing them casually like it's no big deal, even though it's all strategy. I gotta coat the pig's feet with the sauce and then around the plate. Is it just me, or do you think the onions could go on last? That way you can put some sauce where the onions were, and then the onions. Here we go. I think we're done. Order up! Let's take a look. And in we go. That is smooth. Well, the anticipation is killing me. I honestly wasn't sure I was gonna like this thing. Turns out, I like this thing. So interesting. Yeah, it's good. It's smooth, very smooth. It's very smooth. That was a very filling plate of food, and rich. Oh, so rich. Now the pig skin was like, it had like a gelatinous quality to it. It was like melting in your mouth. Am I gonna have it all the time? Probably not. But it was a nice little adventure for the day, and now I know what it's all about. Now the stuffing was very rich too, and the sweetbreads, they have like a creamy interior to them. I find that texture to be more like, it's like meat meets tofu kind of thing. It's not a too gamey taste to it. It doesn't have like an overwhelmingly awful flavor. It's more just like creamy on the inside and kind of chill. I don't know. Mild. That's a good word. I mean, he describes the dish as simple and earthy. I agree with the earthiness because of those mushrooms especially, but simple, I don't think so. Now I'm gonna do side by side between this right here and mine, and I thought the presentation was pretty damn close, except for the plate. And then it looks like there's like a little more redness to his sauce, but I don't know if that's just the camera trickery. Anyway, I think I've used up all my big boy words for today. I'm completely brain dead from this recipe. Any remaining energy I have left, I need to save it for the dishes. And there are many. This was Jamie and Marco. Bon appetit. Au revoir.
Come here. What the is this shit?
I find it to be a very misleading recipe name, braised pig's foot, because it was mostly just braised pig's foot skin stuffed with other things, and then it resembled the shape of a pig's foot, but it wasn't like a pig's foot. Right?